Do you remember your last visit to the zoo? What's your favorite animal to see? Mine are the big cats, the lions, the tigers, and leopards that I will probably never see in the wild. I take pictures of them, and I think about what it might be like for them living in a zoo. I think zoos give us a chance to explore exotic places and animals without having to pay for an airline ticket. They teach us about various animals, and they give us an opportunity to touch an animal's fur, claws, and even the bones at the educational centers around the zoo. Recently, when I visited the zoo, I have noticed signs at each of the exhibits that say an animal is endangered or is part of a vanishing species. What does this tell us about the animals we see? Endangered means that an animal is in danger and may go extinct, while vanishing means that an animal will disappear completely from the world. Many human activities such as urbanization, agriculture, mining, deforestation, or pollution have caused many animals to become endangered. Lots of animals are killed for their fur and bones, which are then used in medicine and clothing. An animal's habitat is the land they live on, which may be cleared for many other uses such as mining, farming, and logging. An animal's habitat can also be destroyed through natural events such as floods, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and climatic changes. So, let's look at some of the animals we like to visit at the zoo and see why they are endangered and might vanish from the world. Remember, I like to see the big cats, but there are many more that are endangered at the zoo. Maybe you'll see your favorite here. This cat has black stripes and orange and white fur and roams the jungles of Asia. Some of the reasons this cat is endangered are legal hunting and loss of habitat. The bones of this cat are highly prized in Asian medicine, while their fur fetch enormous sums on the black market. These beautiful leopards live in the mountains of Central Asia. They are named for the spots on their fur that look like clouds. Solitary by nature, they are hunted for their fur, meat, and bones. Humans have taken over much of their habitat for farming. This cat is the fastest animal on Earth. Its name means spotted one. As people carve up their native lands in Africa, this cat struggles for survival. Shrinking food sources and competition with other predators have spelled trouble. Gray and wrinkled as an old shirt, they stand as symbols of responsibility, taking care of their young and their elders. In Greek, their name means ivory. Their African cousin is dying out mainly due to the illegal poaching of their ivory tusks. They have large heads and rounded ears. Their coats are made up of dazzling, narrow stripes that wind around their body, unique and distinctive like a fingerprint. They live in the grasslands and the dusty savannas of Africa. Threats facing this animal include the loss of habitat, competition for access to water, hunting, and disease. Farmers have taken over much of their living space and use the available water to care for their crops. These little imps wear brown robes and large hoods and are named for the priests who found them in the 15th century. They roam the jungles of Central and South America. They have become endangered because of hunting and loss of habitat. Many are captured and sold as pets. Exotic animals are not the only animals to become endangered. With strong legs and sure hooves, these animals are known for their ability to climb the high, steep, rocky mountain areas of the West. Like many endangered animals, they suffer from a loss of habitat and the loss of food sources. So it's time to take a test. Look at all of the pictures. Which of these is endangered and might possibly vanish? Remember, an animal might become endangered if it loses the place that it lives, loses access to the food it eats, and people kill it for its fur and bones. Surprise! It's the common honeybee. Bees are declining around the world. One of the reasons bees are dying is that their immune systems have been compromised by the way we farm today. Many bees have lost their habitat, which has also led to a decline in their numbers. Albert Einstein once said, "If the bee disappeared off the surface of the globe, then man would only have 4 years of life left. No more bees, no more pollination, no more plants, no more animals, no more man." So let's try this again. Look at all the pictures. Which of these are endangered and might vanish? That's right, all of us. Could we as humans end up in a zoo? If we don't change the way we deal with animals, we may ultimately find ourselves here. So why should we care about an animal that might become endangered or vanish? If we don't learn how to protect animals now, instead of looking into a cage at the zoo and trying to find out what animal is in there, we might find ourselves looking out of the cage and wondering how we got here. Zoos can teach us about the animals around us. They try to tell us about what is happening to the animals in their native lands. Ultimately, they are becoming a safe place to maintain animal populations, and maybe the only place left in the world for us to see them.